Australia rams old ladies. Australia's friends were playing in the park, having so much fun. Even nephew, Fred's zombie cyborg hive mind demon vessel nephew, was letting go of his past ordeals and having fun. Australia finally showed up. "Sorry I'm late," she said. "There's an old lady convention in town and the streets are flooded with slow-driving, almost blind old ladies. I can't even count how many old ladies I got stuck behind on my way here." "Well, at least you're here," smiled Fred. "Now we can all have some fun." "Yes, about that," Australia postulated. "I mean, I fully agree that playing Ring Around the Rosie and Duck Duck Goose are loads of fun. But think about this. We have an opportunity to have lots more fun." "Pray tell," said Dog. "Well," said Australia, "you know there's an old lady convention in town. Wouldn't it be hysterical if we spotted old ladies in their cars and rammed them with our cars?" "What?" flabbergasted Fred. "Why would that be fun?" "Because they would act so startled due to their frailty. They might even start screaming. That would be a hoot." "That sounds very mean, Australia," frowned Fred. "This makes me question the saintly image I have of you." "Seriously?" retorted Australia. "That's the lamest thing I've ever heard." "Wouldn't there be consequences?" asked Dog. "I don't think you understand," demanded Australia. "How often do we get to truly live? This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. How could you betray the very essence of fun by denying us the opportunity to experience something future generations will only hear about with envy?" Australia's tone changed. "I'm afraid I will have to implement extreme negative reinforcement for anything but full compliance to this oh-so-sacred dream. That's right, I have a butter knife, and you better do what I say or else." Everyone trembled. Fred pleaded, "Australia, how could you?" Australia insisted, "No, Fred, I'm putting my foot down here. You have a choice. Live a banal, lukewarm existence of endless sessions of Ring Around the Rosie and Duck Duck Goose, or become a part of fun history. Stop the internal debate. We all know my butter knife will win this argument." "Oh, Clement," said Becky, "how do you wish us to proceed?" "Well, Becky," smirked Australia, "I'm so glad you asked. You have some cars to spare." Becky protested. "You already made one of my cars explode. You have 5 more cars. Who cares?" "All right," commanded Australia. "The time for talk is over. Obey the butter knife." Australia waved the knife around and cocked her head in a display of dominance. "Becky, Fred, nephew, you're coming with me. Bear, dog, monkey, you're ramming old ladies in a different location and will report back to me. Let the ramming of old ladies begin." The town was bustling with old ladies. There was no way to get around them, and they frequently caused gridlock with their pleasantries and the lines for such workshops as knitting and quilting. My ungrateful children, and why the doctor just doesn't understand. Bear, Dog, and Monkey were sitting in Becky's car by the side of the road on the outskirts of town. Dog fretted, "Oh, mercy me. Australia is making us ram old ladies like we're playing bumper cars. I'm absolutely terrified. She has a butter knife and she's only 10 miles away." Bear added, "That means we have to do what she says. Oh my." Dog was driving. He timidly approached a car full of old ladies. They were going 5 centimeters an hour and taking up 3 lanes. A conflicted dog rammed them lightly. The old ladies threw their hands in the air and started oohing and ohing. "Do we have to ram them again?" fretted Dog. "Or do we ram another car full of old ladies?" Just then, a caravan of buses drove by, all full of old ladies. Dog continued, "Do we ram that caravan of buses?" "Why, oh why?" woozied Bear. Bear got an idea. "I believe this can end it. If you ram a bus, then we can tell Australia we rammed a caravan of buses. I think she'll be impressed and we'll be safe from the butter knife." Dog took a deep breath. "Okay, ram 1 bus, then we'll be done." Dog drove to the bus in the back of the caravan and rammed it lightly. Physics wasn't working right that day, and the bus got propelled forward and rammed into the bus in front of it. Then the bus ricocheted into the bus in front of it, and so on until all the buses got rammed. All the old ladies on all the buses screamed hysterically. Old lady number 2 yelled out, "That car rammed us!" Old lady number 57 followed with, "Get 'em!" "Oh no," cried Dog, "they're coming after us." He sped the car away as the caravan of buses chased them. Australia was gleefully driving through town. There were 3 cars stopped at a green stoplight, and Australia spun sideways and rammed all 3 of them at once. She then jumped out of her car and ran into a line of old ladies yelling, "Mosh pit!" "What is the meaning of this?" demanded old lady number 87. "You're getting rammed. That's what's up." "What gives you the right to do that?" challenged old lady number 571. Australia sashayed. "Look at you, being old ladies and such, coming here, having an old lady convention, being all old lady and stuff. I just want to ram stuff up, and I will ram stuff up, so prepare to get rammed." Australia then ran back to her car and rammed 5 cars in a row. Chaos ensued as a wave-like uproar rippled through the town. People were turning cars upside down and blowing up houses out of sheer panic. Australia's frenzied cackles escalated as she veered towards an Easter truck. This truck contained Easter bunnies and Easter doves to be delivered throughout town as a celebration of life, including to such places as orphanages and prisons. Well, Australia rammed right into that truck. Unluckily, the truck was also transporting 100 gallons of gasoline, and it exploded. Hundreds of bunnies and doves escaped from the truck, all on fire. Flaming bunnies were jumping on old ladies, while flaming doves lit up the sky as they flew. Then the flames made the bunnies and the doves explode, splattering Easter colors all over everyone, because that's what happens when Easter bunnies and Easter doves explode. "I've had enough," yelled old lady number Pie. "My longsword will have something to say about this." She pulled out her longsword and jumped on Becky's car that Australia was driving. Australia swerved and hit a lamppost, flinging old lady number Pie under the flaming truck. "Drive!" old lady number Pie yelled to the truck driver. Inspiration awoke the crowd upon the side of the truck chasing Australia with the flaming longswords held high. The crowd gradually joined the chase. Old lady number square root of -1 climbed on top of a moving car with her crossbow and shot arrows at Australia. Old lady number 875 jumped on a car and threw javelins. Old lady number Googleplex was doing acrobatics on top of a Winnebago while juggling Chinese throwing stars and flinging them at Australia. Old lady number 50,112 did a backflip out of a tandem bicycle and landed on Becky's car, whipping out a war fan. She was joined by her friend, old lady number Omega, who was wielding 3 sets of nunchucks, 1 in each hand and 1 sticking out of her beehive hairdo, flipping each set in a magnificent display. Old lady number A11 threw grenades as old lady number B100 programmed her weather control device to create an earthquake and make lightning strike Australia. Australia was swerving out of the way of lightning, grenades, and assorted weaponry. Everyone was hoarse from screaming so much. They were soon joined by bear, monkey, and dog, as well as the horde of outraged drivers chasing them. They were surrounded as they drove towards the edge of a cliff. Becky panicked. "Australia, you have to stop!" Australia raged. "Never stop! Never give up!" Fred wondered, "Why are there so many cliffs around here? We live in Delaware." Unfortunately, fate had different plans for everyone. The earthquake, mixed with the lightning and grenades, made the ground around the cliff crumble away, and everyone involved fell, hurtling towards their deaths. Knowing that all vehicles explode upon impact with the ground, everyone jumped out of their vehicles as they fell. As they fell, Australia air swam to Fred. "Oh, Fred, I've always wanted to die with you in my arms." "I don't know," cried Fred. "I just don't know. This is not how I wanted this day to turn out. Now my life is over. Now all of our lives are over." Ah! Fred cried so much, pools of snot poured out of his nose. The snot fell to the ground before everything else, it being wacky physics day and all, creating a snot stream that everyone landed safely in. All of the cars, buses, and big wheels, of course, exploded. "You made it," rejoiced Fred. "Get them!" yelled old lady number Pie. Australia and her friends ran as the mob chased them. Bear, monkey, and dog were caught with nets. Someone threw boomerangs with Honey and Nephew. Wild animals from all around ran to him and pounced on him, licking the honey off. He was captured too. Old lady number 666 growled incantations as she held up 2 hexahedrons. Shadow monsters spawned from the hexahedrons, growling rapidly as they chased Becky. As carbon-based life genetically spliced with the spirit world, the monsters did exactly what they were trained to do. They caught Becky and dragged her back to old lady number 666, screaming in Becky's face the whole time. As Fred ran, he heard someone yell, "Stop or I'll unleash the clowns!" "No!" Fred yelled. "A slow, painful death that lasts millions of years, but not clowns! Never clowns!" Fred gave up and he was caught too. Australea scanned the crowd and saw that there were no more weapons. "Ha ha ha ha!" she triumphed. "You will never catch me. It was I who orchestrated this whole thing. My friends played no part. They were forced, I tell you, it was me. Me. And now I shall exit." Just as she ran, her high heel broke and the crowd caught up to her. She threw her butter knife, but the crowd subdued her and dragged her to her reckoning site. Amid the chaos, the butter knife was flung and smacked Dog in the head. "Wow," commented Dog. "That really didn't hurt that much. In fact, it barely hurt at all." The crowd released Australea's friends due to her confession. They then tied ropes to each of Australea's wrists and ankles and tied the other ends of the ropes to 4 horses. They then sent the horses running in 4 different directions. The crowd cheered and jeered, hoping Australea would be torn apart. "No!" screamed Bear. "She must pay," roared the crowd. "Not like this," pleaded Bear. "I call police. He will sort this out." Bear found a sharp rock and cut one of the ropes. Nephew found one of the Chinese throwing stars and cut another rope. Dog picked up the butter knife and tried to cut the 3rd rope. "Hurry," yelled Bear, "before she's torn in half." The butter knife wasn't working, so Dog just chewed through the rope. Australea looked to Fred. "Fred," she pleaded, "cut the last rope before the horse drags me away." Fred hesitated. He was filled with confusion and doubt, but it was too late. The rope ran out of slack and the horse pulled Australea away. Just then, police arrived and said, "Who's responsible for this?" "Australea," chanted the crowd. "Well," questioned police, "where is she?" Australea approached, having untied the rope and gotten free. She was wearing a mustache. "Australea went on vacation," said Australea. "Who are you?" asked police. "I'm Australea's clown." Police put his hands on his hips. "Well, when she gets back, tell her she's in big trouble." "I will do that, sir." Everyone dispersed, exhausted after a long day. "Oh, silly monkey, get that banana out of your ear." The end.